You hear us talking a lot on GMBN about line choice and how it can really affect your speed, how you're going to get into the next section and your flow on the trail. We're here at the Enduro World Series and we're going to have a look at some of the gnarly sections and see how the pros are doing it. We're here at the end of stage 5. Riders, when they get to this point, they've been riding for 10 minutes already. It's been a tough stage, it's really physical as well, and this has got to be one of the hardest sections. If you look, you can see people are going right up high. There's 4 different line choices. You've also got this inside line with some massive roots which could just catch out as well. If we look at this other one, you can see that riders are actually just hopping the back wheel around to get a little bit of a straighter line down there, or you can go a little bit wider as well. And of course, there's a chicken run the whole way around the outside. In the top 30 men, there are 2 clear lines. The risky inside line versus the safe and smooth outside. Only 3 racers, Greg Callahan, Richie Rude and Robin Wallner took the inside line. This was the most challenging, but the shortest and fastest. However, Robin Wallner crashed on this line, losing precious time. This is what we mean by risk versus reward. From a different perspective, on that outside line, Fabian Brau looked the fastest and in most control. But on the same line and comparing him to Damien Otton, who looked loose and out of control, Otton was quicker by 1/10 of a second. So let's take a closer look at the stage winner Sam Hill versus the overall winner Richie Rude. Here we now see Hill versus Rude, outside versus inside. Rude in this sector is a victor by 0.2 seconds. But we've spotted that Greg Callahan was looking fast in this section. Whilst Greg is faster here by a whisker, he finished 17th on stage 5, which makes you wonder where Richie Rude makes up his time. Now whilst these times don't sound like much, when you add up 0.1 of a second every turn, that's what deciphers an overall winner, especially on a 10-minute track. It's coming down to the final stage. This is stage 6. It's one of the longest and one of the toughest. It's technical, it's physical, and we're in this one last section. The crowd are all gathered here as well. There's this high line into this tight turn, and then there's 3 options in that section. It's all going to be risk versus reward, and the riders are having to put everything on the plate if they want to get that win. Looking at this section, I'd expected that all the top 30 riders would stick to the form drop, railing it and then through the next section going to the middle line inside of the tree. Option 1 being the safest, option 2 the most direct, and option 3 being the shortest but with the biggest risk. However, many riders chose to endo around the first turn. I expected them to rail. 2 riders went completely inside, avoiding the rot, endoing on the front wheel. You can clearly see that Remy Absalon stalls and loses a surprising amount of momentum. Sam Hill and Richie Rude were the only 2 to rail it and keep both wheels on the ground. Looking at the second section, the top 3 current ranked EWS riders, Jerome, Damien and Richie, all went around the outside of the tree, the safest, longest and slowest line. Greg Callahan had the biggest alternative line in the first section. Let's compare him to Sam Hill. Both their entry corner speed is similar. Greg came in the shorter route, and you can see he lacked momentum into the next section. Now let's compare Sam, who I felt was the quickest through this section, versus overall race winner Richie Rude. Hill was quicker by half a second through this section. Rude took the stage win, and the question you have to pose, did Richie take the longer, safer option, as he knew he'd wrapped up the race? The risk in this section may not have been worth the reward. So there you go, a multitude of different line options, the pros all tackling them seamlessly. What line would you take? Let us know in the comments down below. Would you go for the risk versus reward? Anyway, for more great videos on GMBN, why don't you click just up there for how to endo around switchbacks, and if you click down there, you'll get to how to follow the Enduro World Series. Click on the globe to subscribe, it's absolutely free and you get a great video every day of the week.